This is the plaintiff, Sharon Ober. She says she had a dead tree in front of her house, and instead of cutting it down, she hired the defendant to carve it into a big elephant. She paid the plaintiff up front. He started the job, and then his saw broke. He said he'd be back to finish the carving, but took off with her hard-earned cash and never came back. She's not about to let him get away with stealing from her, and is suing the loser lumberjack for the $900 she's owed. This is the defendant, Brian Carrillo. He says he did exactly as the plaintiff asked. He left a large limb on the stump, which looked like an elephant's trunk, painted the tree, and even gave her eyeballs for the thing. The woman paid him, and then months later she calls him and says she wants her money back. Huh? All he knows is she was happy when he left, and now he's being sued? Crazy. He's accused of being a Dumbo.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Sorry.
Please be seated. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, Sharon Ober, you are suing Brian Carrillo and his company Hot Top Paving for $900, $700 of it money that you paid to him to do a job that you don't feel he did correctly, and $200 in legal fees. Tell me what happened.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hi.
Your Honor, in October of 2011, we had a very bad snowstorm in Connecticut, and a very large limb off of a tree in front of my house broke off. After the limb had broken off, I had a person come to clean up the tree, and he told me that the limb that had broken off was a main limb and that the tree was going to die. He asked me if I wanted him to have the tree cut down all the way to the bottom, and I said no, I didn't want to lose the whole tree, and I thought that it had a lot of character to it. I thought maybe I'd have it carved maybe into a totem pole or do something a little creative with the stump that was going to be left.
Okay, so the tree is dead or dying.
It's dead or dying.
And you wanted to carve it into
Correct.
a work of art.
Correct.
Okay, that's different. Okay. But you say it like it's a thing. Is that a thing? Do people do that? Like, okay.
So I sent the pictures out of the tree to several people that did wood carving. So anyways, all of them came back to me and said, the tree is a rock maple. It's too hard to carve. I'm kind of thinking that you should just have it cut down.
Okay.
So I said, fine. In the meantime, I'd hired this landscaper to come and cut the branches that needed to be cut, but to leave several of them still in place in case I did find somebody who ultimately would carve it. So in early January, a person comes to my front door, knocks on the door and says, would you like me to cut down your tree? And I said, no, I'm planning on having it carved. And he said, well, what are you thinking? And I told him I was really thinking.
Was that him?
To be honest with you,
was
Your
it
Honor.
you or somebody in your
It was my cousin.
Okay, so go on.
So this person, his name was Ed. He said to me, we could do this job. And I said, well,
you're pavers.
Yeah.
Why are you knocking on the door to see if she wants, right?
It was winter time. I do trees on the side too. We were working in the area doing a tree job.
All right.
So I said, how much do you want? And he said $1,000. And I said, well, I can't pay that much money. And so we renegotiated the price down to $700.
And you were going to do what with it? I mean, this guy's a paver.
I realized
like what artistry was he going to have making? Like, what was his vast and varied experience making totem poles or whatever? What did you want made? What did you want?
I really just wanted it to, I wanted him to put some ears on it. I wanted him to take one of those major trunks and notch it. It had a great big...
An elephant.
Correct.
You wanted an elephant.
And I
because
got
you
one.
felt like it was kind of predestined to be an elephant. You have pictures?
Correct.
Let me see.
This is what the tree looked like before I'd had it cut down, after it had been damaged.
Right.
And this was what Brian left me with when he was done, or Ed, his worker.
And what's this?
That's what it looks like today.
Which, you put ears on it?
I did.
What are... I love you. I want you to be my neighbor. You are so whimsical and happy. I don't have the time to return people's phone calls. You are looking for elephant ears to salvage a tree that had a graceful form to you that you like.
I just couldn't see cutting down the tree.
Is that an eyeball?
Yes. One of my neighbors provided me with a marble, and it fit right in the hole in the knot in the tree.
But that's like this big.
Well, no. The marble itself is probably...
Oh, just the marble.
Just the marble.
Oh.
The rest of it was already there.
That's actually the tree, brown like that.
Correct.
The brown eye of the elephant is priceless.
Correct.
All right, so, but what he had done was give you this.
Yes.
Okay, so what he did was cut the rest of that tree, make a mouth, and the eye was natural. It was the knot in the tree.
The knot was in the tree.
I'm fascinated that you saw the elephant in this. Okay, and so what?
So as he starts doing the work, of course, now
do you have a contract with him?
I do.
But what I got from you was illegible. Do you have a?
That's the best that I have.
Do you have a contract?
I have a contract.
May I
but
see it?
I didn't bring it because they said she had it when I spoke to the judge.
So you have a contract, but didn't bother
It's
bringing
the
it.
same contract
Yeah,
as
why
that.
don't you tell me what your contract's for? Show him the contract. That's the first I've ever heard anybody say.
I can.
No, just wait.
to cut down, shape.
What's that
tree.
say?
To cut and shape tree in front of the yard. Also put, we painted it.
What do you mean you painted the?
She had us paint it, spray paint it, and she had us do these things.
Did you have
and
him
then
paint it?
after she paid us, and my cousin went in to get paid, she writes in the bottom after she gives him the money that, oh, well, how about, I think it'll look better if you put tusks on it and this and that.
Tusks?
Yes, at the bottom. She wrote her handwriting on the bottom.
Okay, how do you know what that says? I can't
Because
read
it's
that.
my handwriting and I wrote it.
Okay, read it again.
Shape tree in front of the yard. Also paint, spray paint the tree. And then down here it says when she added about the tusk and
That's after she
wrote
pays you.
that. Yeah.
Did you add that in afterwards?
I added that on before I signed the contract.
There's a question mark on it.
Question about the tusks,
wrote
but
it.
but what happened was
It was
while he had
after
started while he had started all of this work, Your Honor, his saw broke. I said to him, he goes, "Well, I can't finish the work because my saw is broken." He says, "I'm going to have to go out and buy a new blade. Can you pay me?" Well, yeah, if that's what it's going to take for you to be able to finish this job. And that's when he came in and he said, "So here is the contract. I'm going to need a check." And I said, "Well, before I sign this, when is this job going to be completed? I need a completion date." So we added down that he would be coming back to put the ears on or before April 1st of 2012. And then I put a question mark about the tusks because I wasn't certain as to whether or not he might be able to find something in his...
So what you're saying is that whatever they were going to do, they had done. Then he wanted to get paid.
Correct.
But according to you, he promises he's going to come back.
Right.
What is it they didn't do that you think they should do?
They didn't shape the head. The head is completely square. They didn't do the chunk. You can see in the finished product, he didn't put the ears on.
I mean, it wasn't
What were they
clarified.
going to make the ears out of?
I found a stump in a neighbor's yard, and I had my tree man come and slice 2 slices off of his stump. The second person that I hired, Bob the Builder, he was the one.
Builder.
Bob the Builder. And I told this to Ed when he came to my house, that I would help him find ears because he was going to make them. That's what he told me originally. He was going to make them. And I said to him, before I pay you, I want to know, when is the work going to be done? He said, and I said to him, does April 1st sound like a reasonable date? And he said, yes.
And according to you, that's not true.
Well, what happened was
I'd like to see your copy of the contract to know if it's true or not. Because if I could see whether it's on your copy of the contract.
Right. I have it in the file cabinet at home.
That's good. I'll just go over your house later.
Welcome back to the People's Court, Harvey Levin here. So she carves this elephant, or wants the elephant carved, out of a tree. Cool or cheesy?
I think it's cool. Honestly, I would do that if I had a big tree that I didn't have anything better to do with.
Would you put it in the front lawn or just the backyard?
Front, because my house would be the favorite one on the block.
What do you think?
I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, what's the best animal to carve a tree out of?
A mouse.
A mouse? A mouse? Okay, that's called a stump. That's called a stump. We're going inside the courtroom.
She kind of feels that like this wasn't worth $700.
Well, we came to agreement. We were
Yeah, but what did you guys do for $700?
We carved it.
Carved what? He just cut the top, and that's it. He didn't notch this. He didn't carve this into anything.
I didn't know you get a warranty on artwork. I didn't
it's
know.
It's not a warranty on artwork. I mean, look,
she paid.
Actually, by the way, she says that you actually promised a full warranty on your work, a money back guarantee because because you're so
paving.
lazy, your paving contract, and that's what you wrote it on. And this contract happens to say something about guarantee, doesn't it?
That's correct. Correct.
Where does it say that?
Right at the top, Your Honor.
All work guaranteed. Okay. But let's just talk about a reasonable interpretation of the work she wanted you to do.
I mean, she was out there guiding us the whole time.
Right,
and
but
telling
she
us what to
wanted
do.
the trunk to look like a trunk, to have that notch, and she wanted this rounded, and she wanted ears.
As time went on and she looked at this tree, she come up with another way and a better way to do it, you know? I mean, you do something, you look at it, and she's the type of person that, oh, well, this needs that. This needs, you know, fixing. So, you know, she was happy when we left there.
Okay.
She paid, no,
Your
the
Honor,
$20.
from the time he knocked on the door till the time he left with that work being done was maybe 2 hours tops.
I wasn't getting paid by the hour. What's that matter?
She means that you guys didn't do the job that she contracted you to do, that you just cut a few branches off and fled. Basically, you guys are leaving me to decide if this was worth $700, I guess. So what did you guys do for the $700? You cut, this is what it looked like when you came?
Yes.
Okay. So this is how they got it. So they cut this limb, cut that limb, and cut a mouth, and that's it.
And the ear and the eyes.
You didn't.
No, the eye was there.
The eyes we had to sketch a little bit. You could see the difference.
Did you do it or did Ed?
Me and Ed did it. I was
So
there
you
all
were
the
there
time.
too?
Yes.
Okay. So what'd you do to the eye?
You know, etched it. You know, like carved it out so it gets down to the bark. Take the bark off and stuff, so it gets down to the wood.
What are the $200 in legal fees?
I hired an attorney to send him a letter.
You paid an attorney $200 to chase $700?
Your Honor,
Don't you think that's foolish?
It was.
Who are you?
I'm her sister.
Okay, did you tell her that was foolish? Yeah, have you ever watched The People's Court?
all the time.
If you do, then you know you can go, you have access to the courts. It's the beauty of living in America. Anybody can sue anybody for anything. You don't need a lawyer on a $700 case. You come in, you file your case.
I was kind of.
I'm not going to order him to repay your legal fees. You know, this art is such a subjective thing, and you hire them to do this art that has fallen short because you feel like they cut a few limbs, said they'd be back, and never came back again. Your first mistake was paying them the entire money. You should never have done that, ever, ever, ever. You got to keep a little carrot over here, or you're never going to see them again. Your needs were kind of amorphous. I think I want this. I think I want that. It's a kind of a little bit, but this is where we do a little rough justice, and I'm going to order you guys to return some of the money. $350 verdict for the plaintiff. That's my judgment.
All right, let's talk to the defendant, get some comment on the outcome of the case here. You saw how it went down. She did get back half of what she was suing for from you. What's your feeling there?
No feeling at all.
Think it's fair?
Yeah.
Fair deal. Had you ever done anything like that before? Tried to sculpt a tree into really?
Yeah, many a time.
Really?
Yeah.
People do that all the time?
Well, not all the time, but done it a few times.
Right, you have?
Yep.
Did you have like any kind of a portfolio to show or pictures,
No,
anything like that?
didn't
She just trusted your ability and
Right.
you did the best you could.
That's it.
As an artist.
There you go.
All right, very good. All right, head right around the corner this way, if you would. All right, so come on in here. You satisfied how this comes out?
I'm a little disappointed, but you know what? I think justice was served.
What are you disappointed about? Not getting the full amount back?
Correct. I think, when he guarantees his work, I would have expected to get the whole amount back.
Well,
But
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, isn't it?
it's a beautiful tree.
Harvey?
Well, here's the thing. If you hire somebody to do something that's subjective, before you actually have them do the work, get a rendering of what it is they're doing. So at least that way you can look at what you got against what you were promised. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.